All right, the purpose of this lab is to troubleshoot power supply problems. So let's add the power supply tester to the workspace by expanding the shelf and PC tools, and then selecting the power supply tester and then dragging it to the workspace till you get the vertical yellow rectangle and then release. Now I'm going to close the shelf for a bit, and we want to test this power supply. Let's move. Right, so we'll connect the power supply for the motherboard here and the CPU there. So let's go to the motherboard view, and there is our 24-pin power supply. We'll put it there and release. And there is the power supply for our CPU. It's connected to the power supply. And if we didn't know for certain, we could also click on the motherboard tab. Let's click on the motherboard and then details. And then we can see that right there, and specifications. Number 1, it has 4 pins and it is a power connector. Right, so let's remove that and take it to the power supply and connect that. Let's zoom in and we can see this 12-volt power supply is, it's below 11 quite a bit, and that means it's not providing enough power. So let's remove that connector and that connector, and we'll put this, can we put this back on the shelf? Yeah, all right, we put the power supply tester back on the shelf, and let's get ready to remove this power supply because we've determined that, yes, it does have an issue. Let's see, let's go to the drive bays and we'll remove this connector. And we'll remove this connector. Okay, we'll look at the back. We'll unplug it. And go to the motherboard view. And let's see. Maybe I need to zoom out a bit. Oh, it's on the bench. Okay. The previous power supply, I put it on the bench so that I don't confuse it with the new power supply. I'm going to expand power supplies, and we want a power supply that has 20 plus 4 pins, right? So this one is not a candidate. This is a 20.4 and this is a 20.4. And this says that we also need a PCIe video card. This one says it has the PCIe video card. Right, so if we click on it to select it, and we scroll over, we can find, what can we see? We see this one has a PCIe 6-pin video connector. And we also want as we saw, we want a 4-pin CPU connector, and this power supply has the 4-pin CPU connector as well. All right, so let's select our new power supply and drag it into place. And we'll close the shelf view, and we'll scroll down. And we will install it by connecting the motherboard power connector. So we'll scroll down and connect that there. And we'll connect the CPU connector in the upper right-hand corner, the 4-pin right there. And we want to connect the power connector for the SATA hard drive and optical drive. So we'll click on drive bays, and we'll scroll up a bit. Here we go, so we can see what we want. And these are all a bunch of 15-pin SATA connectors. So we'll connect one there, and then the other there. Okay, then we'll plug in the computer using the existing power cable. Where did we leave that? There's that. Okay, that's already plugged in, so we can select that. And go scroll up. And we'll go to the back view of our computer, and there is where we want to plug that in. And while we're here, let's just look and see. Our voltage is 115 volts like we want. This is currently off. So let's just click that to turn that on. All right, so let's start the computer and see if Windows boots up. So let's go to the front and we'll scroll down and hit the button. Let's see how that's a good sign. That is a good sign. We'll give that a moment to boot up, and Windows seems to have loaded correctly. So let's click Score Lab and find out how things went. All right, good, very good. Thank you for watching.